And I always like just to get out there and let you guys know, sit down and speak with them. Listen to these programs they have. That program Ben has is pretty awesome, and especially in a, well, you
just knew it.
me off, you went my lap. Yes, right? Welcome to my world. Yeah, so.
Feeling spunky.
Yeah, you're feeling spunky. So anyway, like I was saying, you guys should sit down with some of these vendors. Ben's got that great program, guys, that you know, in a market like this where homes sell pretty quick and maybe you're competing with cash offers, to have a guarantee of a 15-day close is pretty impressive. So take them up on that. And,
then you have to use Magnus Title MTA so they can actually get it done in 15 days.
Yeah, so there's your other thing. So, well, good morning, guys. Happy Monday to you. We're excited about this topic. I have a question for you guys. How many of you guys are inclined or desire to seek out self-improvement? That means, oh, I like that. Now, the question is, do you really do it? And how often? Oh, yeah, some other hands. You know, it's funny, I'm the complete opposite of it. Angela's a school nerd. I hate classes. I hate school. Just a confession. I'm the one that says to my kids, look, you don't have to go to school. Just get out there in the world and start, you know, working. And my 7-year-old looks at me kind of crazy. But my thing is, what I start to realize in my life now, as I get older, when you have a passion for something, you seek out knowledge, you seek out learning. So although I know I ask, are you guys seeking out growing in what you do and self-improvement, and all your hands go up, but I really question, are you really doing that? Are you really putting your time and effort in? We do classes here all the time. I actually hear from agents that have been in business a while that would go through one of our classes. Maybe they're new here to the company and they go, wow, I never knew to do real estate like the way you guys teach. And they say, maybe classes are important. Here's what I say, classes are always important. Even if you sit through a class and get one thing out of it, or a reminder. Actually, I had one of our top producers tell us last night, Carol, say to us, I just read your book, and she goes, I got through the beginning of it, and then I was questioning, oh, is this book going to be good throughout the rest, because it's probably basic stuff for new agents. And she read the rest of the book, and she goes, you know, this is something I need to read every year, just as a reminder on these basics. So you guys got to constantly be looking to improve yourself, to make yourself better. And when you start to make yourself better and you feel more confident, things in your life start to change. Things change, guys. And the way you get out there and your confidence level starts to change. So we're going to go over today 8 things that happen when you start believing in yourself. And you believe in yourself when you're constantly looking to self-improve. It feels like you're standing right on top of me. I'm going to put you there. I don't know. I think she had a few glasses of wine this morning.
Not this morning.
Not this morning. So we're going to go over these 8 things that happen when you start to believe in yourself. And the first thing, when you start to believe in yourself, you become less judgmental. Less judgmental. Judgment and negative energy are the reflection of the giver, not the receiver. You ever feel like you get into this rut where you start to judge people, where you critique people? I have a bad problem with this. I'll be honest with you and always put myself in check. And it's not judgmental. So there's certain things that you can be judgmental, and there's certain things that when you're a control freak, like you always feel like they're not doing it right. And I have that problem. I'm sometimes that person that goes, you know what, let me just do it. Let me take care of it. And that's a form of being judgmental. So what you want to seek out is, if you feel like you're judging people, if you're judgmental and you're constantly critiquing, well, maybe I'm going to question, maybe you're not spending enough time in developing yourself. Stop looking to always judge people. Look to always build yourself up. Become more confident. I always like, what puts me in check is the fruits of the Spirit. So I always question, what does the Holy Spirit got for me? And in Galatians, they talk about the fruits of the Spirit. And the fruits of the Spirit these are love, joy, peace, long-suffering, patience. I got to repeat that word. Patience. Gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, and self-control. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. And they sound really nice on the surface. And everybody wants that for yourself. But do you extend that to others? Do you extend those things? And go in the book of Galatians and read about that, guys. And these are things that will change your life around. That when you practice those fruits of the Spirit, you become less judgmental on people. And you build yourself up by becoming a better person. And when you start to become a better person, and you get that training, and you start to realize that having self-confidence is not about perfection. We all have flaws. And once we start to realize, look, we have flaws, guess what that means? Other people have flaws. And other people go through trials and tribulations. So once again, the first one, when you start to believe in yourself, you become less judgmental.
When I was preparing for today, I kind of went back and forth between, is this about believing in yourself and then this happens, or you do these things and then you believe in yourself? And I concluded that it's actually more like a cycle. The more that you practice these 8 things.
It's not like the chicken and the egg? Chicken and the egg thing?
Yes, it's just like the chicken and the egg thing. So the 8 things, the more you do them and practice them, the more confidence you feel, right? The more confident you feel, the more you want to do these things. So the second one is, when you do have confidence and you believe in yourself, you can actually accomplish more. You can do more. And we've all talked about, I think we've said it several times, that everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. Everybody has that. Why do some people accomplish more than others? And there's all kinds of reasons, but one thing that's very interesting, it's not going to surprise you, but we have a lot of negative thoughts. A lot. And so I Googled, how many thoughts does a person have in the day, and et cetera. I don't know if this is accurate. I've never counted. I don't have the patience for it. But something like 50,000 thoughts pop through your head a day. Like they just go through, whatever they are. And many of the articles that talked about positive thoughts versus negative thoughts will say that 70 to 80% of those thoughts are negative, right? And the problem is we don't just think a negative thought. Sometimes we follow it down the trail. So we think something, I can't do it. Or I'm going to knock on that door and they're going to yell at me, or whatever it is, that negative thought. We don't just recognize that it's a negative thought and bounce it off, which is what we need to practice to do. We follow it down the trail. Oh my gosh, it's true. It's probably true. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to impact anybody today. Probably all the things that I'm going to say are stupid. Is anyone listening? Why? So you start to go down that trail, and what does that happen? It takes time. It takes your time, and it takes energy, and if you can control your thoughts, because by the way, you can choose to control your thoughts. It's a habit-forming thing. You have to practice it, because we're all inclined to so many negative things. But if you practice having those things bounce off and grabbing onto more positive things, you can actually accomplish more because you have more time mentally to do more. So having confidence and practicing that actually helps you to accomplish more. Our greatest weapon against stress is the power to choose one thought over another.
Number 3, when you believe in yourself, you inspire others to believe in you. And that's pretty cool, because authentically confident people, these are people that are genuinely confident, are inspiring. You ever realize you want to be around those people? You gravitate towards people that are just confident. And sometimes, especially newer agents, and I'll talk to the newer agents, and this could pertain to some experienced agents also, but when you're new in the business, are you confident? No, you're not confident. And here's the thing, people sense that. That's why I always say you want to be growing, you always want to be learning. Because when you start to genuinely believe in you, you actually influence other people. Now, influencing other people is not a negative thing. So sometimes when somebody says, well, you could influence people, it's not negative if you have good thoughts behind it and that you genuinely care about somebody. You know that phrase, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So becoming confident actually influences people because they know you genuinely care. And here's what happens. When you start to become confident in what you do, so like if you ever see experienced agents now that are truly confident, and we've learned this, you know, when we were broke and we weren't that laser focused on real estate, it was tough. I always feel like, why doesn't anybody believe in us? Because we weren't that confident. But then as you get better at what you do, the confidence level builds up. For example, I could take a phone and cold call anybody. I could sit in front of a room and say, throw objections at me all day long. I'll overcome every one of those objections. I'm really confident in what I do. And I'm confident because I'm constantly growing and learning, and this is what I do. And when you start to work that way, you start to realize, wow, it's easier and easier to attract clients because they want to be around confident people. You have to be able to believe in yourself. And another thing that you have to let go is your ego. Your ego. Your ego could destruct you in so many levels. Your ego might destruct you where you say, I don't need to learn anymore. I'm good where I'm at. Well, that becomes a problem. You've got to constantly be in growth mode. Or your ego being, I don't think I should fail. I can't be around that type of failure. Well, it's a bad ego. So let go of that ego and let your actions speak for themselves, guys. So number 3 is when you believe in yourself, you start to inspire other people to believe in you.
So number 4 is when you are confident and you believe in yourself, you handle criticism way better. I mean, you just really, instead of getting crushed under the weight of other people's criticism, it can actually help you. So confident people or people who believe in themselves, they can weed through not only the criticism, but the source of the criticism and decide which things are actually true and accurate, which things you need to hold on to and take to heart, and which things is you just let go. So one of the things that I thought about on this section is we've gone to some really great trainings lately in the last couple of years. EntreLeadership. Just recently we went to a bunch of trainings on different aspects of our business here in the building. And when we go to a really great training and we're exposed for how little we know, we don't like feel sorry for ourselves and we go, oh my gosh, we don't know anything. And it's exciting because we hear all of the things that we aren't doing as good as we could do, right? As well as we could do them. And it inspires us to improve instead of crushing us under the weight of negative criticism. There's a huge difference because everybody needs criticism. Everybody needs it. And so when you believe in yourself, you're able to take that and turn it into something good.
You know, it's really also goes, who you're surrounding yourself with does make a big difference in that confident level that you could have. So it really is important. Number 5, when you believe in yourself, you increase your power of persistence. You know, it's one of the biggest things that I tell people to be successful at sales or pretty much anything in life. I always say these 2 words, consistent and persistent. And when you're not confident in yourself and you start to let those doubts creep into your mind, it will crush your persistence. Because you start to say things like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I could do this. I'm not as good as that other person. When those negative thoughts creep in, it crushes you because you will always hit stumbling blocks. Always. There's not a person in this room that doesn't hit stumbling blocks. So the question is, if that little stumbling block could stop you because your confidence level is that low, it's going to be tough to make it. I look at it this way, like Angela said. When we have confidence, and those things that hit you, the adversities, or when we hear these speakers, like we did, it was almost 2 years ago, we went to see Dave Ramsey. And we were around leaders, big time leaders. And when you start to realize what they say, who you surround yourself is that important. And when you're around these leaders, and we're successful in our own realm, and you get there and you walk out, and literally we looked at each other and we go, we don't know anything. And that's a good thing. And people look at you and go, well, that's crazy. Why do you think that's a good thing? Here's why it's a good thing. Because what it says to me, there's so much more room to grow. The persistence, guys, that you need to have, that means you need to be unshakable. Not that things aren't going to shake you. But I always say, I don't go around obstacles. I go through them. And it's a visual I have in my mind.
And I walk behind him, and he's cleared the way.
Yeah. Make a pretty big opening. And it's a visual I have in my mind. Because I'm going to tell you guys, we are just like you guys. There are days that I go, man, I don't know if I could do it. Look at that. Look what we're dealing with today. Look at these obstacles. Look at this looming thing that just hit us. We deal with the same thing you guys deal with. The difference is we'll pick each other up. The difference is God has blessed us with some great skills of being persistent. And here's what I always say. I go, look, tough times will always come. I mean, God says it. You will toil all the days of the earth. But the key is, when you start to build up your confidence, you break through those barriers. Not that it's any easier, but you get through them. So, increasing your power of persistence and then focusing on the why you do what you do. You always got to have that why, and the why can't be money, guys. Money will never get you through any of those obstacles. Your why's got to be bigger. Sometimes my why, here's what my why is sometimes when I go, I don't know if I could take this anymore. And I always say, God's put me here for a purpose. And I always feel like I can't let him down. The funny thing is I always let him down. But have your why. Be persistent, guys. Obstacle will come. You will question yourself. Like Angela says, those negative thoughts. A good book to read is Battlefield of the Mind. And I just love that analogy that we're always in a battle. But it's a war that I want to win. So some battles I may lose. Some battles I'll win. But it's the war that I want to win.
Number 6 is when you believe in yourself and you're confident, you exude positive energy. You exude it. Where does positive energy come from? I was fascinated with this question this morning. I spent almost all my time on this point. And here's the funny thing. I read an article, and we've talked about it before. He reminded me that he talked about it years ago. But I read an article about the power of your heart. About the power of your heart. So science is discovering that there's this little gnat, so that's why I keep doing this. Science is discovering that the heart sends more information
Thank God
to
you're not doing it this way, because that'll be a big
Science is discovering that the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And that it's stronger electromagnetically than your brain is. There's all of this very interesting research. I think scientists should study the Bible more because they come to their conclusions a lot faster, right, by the way? Because in the Bible, depending on the version, there are 500 to 725 references to the heart. To the heart. Do you know that there's not one reference to the brain? Not one. They talk about your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, and a variety of other organs, but never your brain. And by far, more references to the heart. Pretty sure he's onto something, right? So positive energy, yes, comes from positive thoughts. You have to control your thoughts. That's a true statement. I stand behind that. But shouldn't we be more concerned with the condition of our heart? So I tried to Google it. I said, how can you improve the condition of your heart? What do you think I found? Exercise, cardiovascular health, your diet. I went through pages and pages.
You told me laughter too. That was a big one.
What's that?
Laughter.
No. I went through pages
laughter.
of just references to how do you improve the condition of your heart. I tried to word it differently. I tried to think of different phrases to use, but it was all the physical condition of your heart. But I don't think it's the physical condition of your heart that's exuding all this electromagnetic energy that the scientists are finding, or why God references it 500 to 7,500 or 725 times in the Bible. I don't think that's at all. In fact, I just went into the Bible and I found Ezekiel 36:26 that says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone, and I will give you a heart of flesh. Right? Well, that's how you improve the condition of your heart. You need to get the stone out and get the flesh in. So it's very interesting. If you can really, truly improve the condition of your heart, then you can affect the type of energy that you give out. And that is just powerful. You actually, there's science that says, I'm affecting him right now with the power of my heart. There's there's actually a study, I'll just tell you this last thing. A mom who's holding a baby, her brain waves synchronizes with the beating of the heart of the baby. It's the craziest stuff. You should read about it. So worry about conditioning your heart.
Number 7, when you believe in yourself, you become more disciplined. And boy, we need discipline in our life. A deep belief in yourself leads to better habits in your life. You know, we all have temptation. We all have to struggle with things that arise where you have to make a choice. And the key is we as human beings tend to gravitate towards the easy stuff. That's why discipline is really important. I'll give you, for example, so if somebody says, you know what, I want to be in better shape. We all know that it doesn't happen overnight. So if you want to look 6 months to a year out to be in better shape, we have to be disciplined on a day-to-day basis. And here's what happens. Oh, we see that donut or that piece of pizza, and our discipline just goes out the window because we give into the temptation of that fix for now instead of looking at that long-term reward. It's the same thing with business, guys. Here's what happens. You could be sitting here today going, you know what, I need to make X amount of dollars. I need to do this for my family to give them security. And then what happens is every day, and I could challenge you guys on this, I go, what did you do today to reach that goal, this long-term goal? And you start to realize that you take the easy way out because you don't have any discipline. You sat there and you played on Facebook for a while, and 2-3 hours later, you're sitting around going, did I get anything out of that? So discipline is a huge thing that you need to get. When you start to build yourself up, you become more confident in yourself because you don't want to let yourself down. So you become more disciplined in the things that you need to do. And one of the other cool things is when you become more disciplined and start to realize it's about you, you start to realize you don't blame anybody else. You know, we tend to be victims and we like to point fingers. I always say the opposite. I like the thought process that I'm in control, nobody else. If something doesn't happen, I'm to blame. And what's nice about it is I don't have to rely on other people. I rely on myself. So remember the topics. The topic is you need to believe in yourself and these things happen. So when you start to believe more in yourself and you say, I'm going to take this weight on because I'm confident in what I do, you definitely become more disciplined in your day-to-day actions.
And finally, the last one is when you put all of these things together, your potential for success is just sky high. All of these things together enables you, frees your mind, gives you persistence and discipline, all of those things, so that when you go after something, like your real estate career, you're able to experience that success. apart from believing in yourself and having confidence, success is really tough. Because success is actually a word that describes something that you're doing, right? And if you don't believe in you and you're doing something, how can you have success? So these things should be, you can, and the great news is you can practice all of these things. All of these things are things that you do have control over developing in your life. And the result will be success.
So to sum it up, the original question I had for you guys is, are you inclined towards regular self-improvement? And I know everybody's hand went up, but the key word is regular, not every once in a while. And the other thing I said is, do you seek out things to help you grow? Seek out. That's intentional, guys. Not, oh, whenever something pops in front of me. I know the way we are, and I know even our staff, we're constantly seeking to grow. It's almost like a hunger. It's like an appetite. And the key word to use behind that, it's a passion. So I want you guys really to reflect on that. Self-improvement is only up to you. Nobody else. You have to make that decision. And if you don't have that passion and that desire, you need to question why. Why are you not constantly seeking out to improve yourself? And the thing is, what I tell people, we're in sales. So sales doesn't have to be real estate related. Seek out these things. We live in a world that information is at our fingertips. It's actually amazing, like when Angela says she could Google and she has all this information. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you today to seek out, to have a hunger for growth and for knowledge in self-improving. Any announcements to make?
Moms in Real Estate on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. This is the first week that we're going to have our Moms in Real Estate live show. Are there tickets left or no?
Yes.
Okay, so on Thursday at 10 o'clock, we are interviewing 3 moms in real estate. It's going to be a regular weekly event that you can do one of 2 things. You can come live and watch, or...
Instead of coming dead and watch?
Yeah. Or you can join the Moms in Real Estate Facebook group if you're a mom in real estate and watch it through Facebook, because we're going to live stream it as well. We're so excited about it. The panelists are Katie Lambert and Tia Coates and Shauna. Yeah. So really great women. I had a chance to pre-interview them, and it's going to be some great information. So I really encourage you to get involved in that.
And Dueling Pianos was great on Saturday.
So
if
fun.
you guys need to come, that's fun. We're going to be trying to do that once a month. And it's a great time in here. Bring your clients. Always party on the patio on Friday with some free pizza. And any other announcements coming up?
Listening workshop
Wednesday's a listing workshop at 9:30. A listing workshop.
What does that entail?
And listening presentation class tomorrow.
Oh, is that us?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
we're
teaching tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I'm teaching tomorrow. Joy. No, I'm kidding. All right, guys, you guys have a great week. God bless you guys.